The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy 628 here today, giving you another Theory Thursday. So, let's just get right into it. There was quite a bit of discussion on my last Theory Thursday comment section on what I should do next, and I thought this was definitely the best part here. My buddy Devon suggested I do Sticky Web or Hitmonlee, and well, I am going to do it on Hitmonlee this week. Now, while Galvantula is UU, so it's not going to be a Sticky Web user in RU, Devon does make a good point that Sticky Web offense is still quite popular in the RU tier, and that's because of a very popular poke known as Shuckle being so bulky that it can get up rocks and Sticky Web, which is really nice where you can get a nice speed benefit for other pokes, such as a great user of it, as he says, Hitmonlee. So because of how popular Sticky Web is used in RU, I am going to include it in my discussion about Hitmonlee today. Now, what I think about Hitmonlee, despite Sticky Web being quite powerful, especially in conjunction with Hitmonlee, I still do think that Hitmonlee is going to remain in the RU tier. So with that said, let's get to our points and let's check out its stats. Now, if there's one thing you know about Hitmonlee, it's the fact that it is quite a hard hitter. It is powerful offensively. It has a base 120 attack stat, which is the attack stat of Arceus. I use that a lot in comparison because Arceus is quite the threat in Ubers. So you know that base 120 hard hits, especially like with Sock and NU. Now, Hitmonlee has a slightly better speed stat than Sock and NU, and there's a couple of other factors that make it so powerful offensively. So it does have an 87 speed stat, which is quite a bizarre speed tier. In the RU tier, it tends to outspeed things that are usually more bulky anyway and don't require speed investment, but it does outspeed offensive Rotom Cut if you do run Jolly, because Rotom Cut tends to run Timid, but most Hitmonlees tend to run Adamant, in which case you may not be so lucky against facing it one-on-one. Now, also regarding Hitmonlee's offensive prowess, Hitmonlee gets two really nice abilities that benefit its offense. One being Unburden. Unburden doubles Hitmonlee's speed once its item is used. There's a couple ways to use that, one being a normal gem fake out, and number two being an Endure Lychee Berry set in which you can reversal, and with being adamant max attack, you're going to do a ton of damage to the opponent. The other great ability that Hitmonlee has is Reckless, and Reckless works as if you're using a move that has crash or recoil damage, the move will get a 1.2 times boost. So Hitmonlee's most well-known move that goes in conjunction with this ability is High Jump Kick. So already you're at base 130, factor in stab, and then factor in that 1.2 times boost. You're looking at a base 234 power. That's more powerful than a stab head smash. So we're looking at quite a bit of power with this High Jump Kick. Only thing about it is that recoil, that 90% accuracy, especially when you're facing ghosts as well in the tier such as Mega Banette. Now, while Hitmonlee is definitely super capable of damaging threats offensively, in regards to taking hits, it has pretty mediocre defenses. Although you look at that special defense stat and you think 110, what's mediocre about that? Well, from that point of view, not too much, as it has been well known when I've used it to take some Life Orb or even Specs T-Bolts from a Jolteon, although not with too much health left. You know why? Because of its base 50 HP. That means even with max HP, it hits at most 304. It's very similar to Rotom's base 50 HP, except Rotom has base 107 defenses on each side, which makes it bulky on either side, of course. Back in 5th gen, I actually had decent success with especially defensive Hitmonlee with the ability Limber, which allows it to not be paralyzed. It worked out relatively well because of its surprise value. But in regards to physical defense, let's look at that measly base 53 defense stat. From full health, Hitmonlee barely takes a Life Orb Adamant Mach Punch from an opposing Hitmonlee. It's definitely more of a hit and run kind of poke. Now I have one more reason as to why Hitmonlee should remain RU, although it's more of a reason benefiting how great it is. It's relatively diverse, it's somewhat versatile. Hitmonlee can be especially defensive wall like I was talking about earlier, even though I may be the only one that's crazy enough to try that set out. But in regards to offense, you never know if it's Unburden or Reckless, although you can finally tell once they reveal the High Jump Kick, or once they reveal the Fake Out. Unfortunately, it may be a little bit too late for you because you need to figure out what poke you need to bring in to take on a Hitmonlee. although I've found that my physical defensive Banette tends to hang on against this Hitmonlee a little bit better than you'd expect. Hitmonlee does tend to carry knockoff just as a nice support move and to hit ghosts as well, so it does have a great move pool to help it out. Hitmonlee also tends to carry at least one form of priority, one being Fake Out, which is nice on an unburdened set with normal gem, and the other being Mach Punch, which just hits hard normally with its stab, getting at least a 60 base power. Now, I'm not a huge unburdened user of Hitmonlee yet, although I'll definitely experiment with it. I have been a strong user of a Reckless Hitmonlee. Now, I tried Jolly as it outspeeds other Hitmonlees, and it does outspeed Timid Rotom that isn't Scarf, and so I wanted to calc how much damage it would do to a Druddigon, as I have had to come up with that situation before. Now, just a max HP Druddigon has about a 75% chance to be O-code by a Jolly Life Orb Reckless high jump kick from a Hitmonlee. That shows how much power this Hitmonlee really does have, but in the case that it lives, it's probably not going to appreciate a Dragon Claw, Earthquake, or Outrage coming from this Druddigon. Now, in conclusion, Hitmonlee is an extremely hard hitter, but its base 50 HP doesn't even make its special defense worthy of taking too many hits. An unburdened Hitmonlee is very effective for the time that unburden is in effect, but once you switch out, unburden is no longer in effect. In regards to a Reckless Hitmonlee with Sticky Web support, like I had mentioned a lot earlier, Hitmonlee will continually hit very hard, but as long as you have a Ghost or some kind of form of status, especially one with priority, you'll be able to easily cripple Hitmonlee, as I know from experience. So Hitmonlee is strong, but it isn't bulky, and I think it fits perfectly fine in RU. So that said, I do hope you all enjoy. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave more suggestions for next week. And thank you all for watching once again. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.